When she starts acting distant, cold, or disrespectful, don't ignore it. Those are the signs that her love has turned into resentment. The moment you stop pretending not to see it, you take your power back. Because the truth is, real love doesn't confuse you, drain you, or make you feel small. It brings peace, not pain. So if you're tired of mixed signals, emotional games, and disrespect disguised as affection, this is your wake-up call to know your worth, protect your peace, and never chase someone who treats you like an option. If you're ready to understand relationships on a deeper level, rebuild your confidence, and master emotional self-respect, hit that subscribe button. Because once you learn your worth, you'll never beg for love again. When a woman loses respect for you, it's not something that happens overnight. It's a gradual change that begins in the smallest moments, especially in how she speaks to you. Words carry energy, tone, and intention. When someone genuinely cares, their voice has warmth, patience, and softness. But when contempt begins to creep in, that same voice becomes cold, sharp, and dismissive. You'll notice it first in her tone before anything else. She may still be saying the same words, but the way she says them feels different. It's the sigh before she responds, the rolled eyes when you talk, or the sarcastic laugh after you express your thoughts. These are all signs that her emotional connection to you is fading, and what's left is irritation masked as communication. When a woman starts talking to you like you're beneath her, that's not love. It's superiority. Love doesn't talk down to you. It talks with you. When she used to admire you, she listened with interest. She respected your opinions even when she disagreed. But when that respect dies, she begins to use her words to remind you that you're no longer someone she looks up to. You become someone she tolerates. She'll interrupt you mid-sentence, dismiss your ideas as stupid or wrong, or twist your words to make you feel small. It's subtle at first, but it grows. And the more you allow it, the more she'll normalize it. This is where many men go wrong. They think they can win back respect by explaining themselves, by trying to reason, or by doing more to prove they're worth listening to. But that never works. Because the issue isn't misunderstanding, it's lack of regard. Once someone has mentally placed themselves above you, your words lose weight in their world. She no longer hears you as a man she values, she hears you as noise she tolerates. That's a painful truth, but it's also the moment you must decide who you are willing to become. Every time she mocks you, belittles you, or dismisses what you say, and you stay silent to keep the peace, you teach her that disrespect is acceptable. And once you normalize that, you begin to lose your voice, your confidence, and your self-respect. What you tolerate, you teach. That's why recognizing contempt in her words early is crucial. It's not just about her tone, it's about your boundaries. Because a woman who genuinely cares about you will communicate to connect, not to control. So, pay attention to the energy behind her words. If every conversation feels like you're walking on eggshells, if she turns your words into weapons or makes you feel foolish for expressing emotion, it's not love. It's resentment dressed in familiarity. You don't deserve to be spoken to like you're less than human. You deserve to be heard, respected, and valued. And sometimes the most powerful response to disrespect isn't shouting back, it's walking away from anyone who forgets your worth. Respect begins where effort meets appreciation. When a woman truly values you, she doesn't just enjoy your presence, she honors your time. But when that respect fades, her behavior toward your time becomes careless, inconsistent, and self-centered. You'll notice it in the way she starts showing up late without apology, canceling plans at the last minute, or leaving you waiting for replies that never come. It's not about being busy, it's about priorities. People always make time for what they respect. When she stops valuing your time, she's silently saying, You're not important enough anymore. At first, you might excuse it. You'll tell yourself she's stressed, distracted, or just going through something. But deep down, you feel it, the imbalance. You're putting in effort, making plans, being thoughtful, while she's giving you leftovers of her attention. It's not about grand gestures or constant contact. It's about consistency. When someone cares, they show up, not just physically, but emotionally. When someone doesn't, they make excuses. The pattern always reveals the truth. Effort is a reflection of interest, and lack of effort is a form of disrespect. The danger comes when you start compensating for her indifference. You begin to text more, plan more, and chase harder, thinking, maybe if you just try a little more, she'll see your worth again. But here's the harsh truth. Chasing someone who disrespects your time only teaches them that you'll accept less than you deserve. Every unanswered message, every broken plan that you forgive too easily erodes your self-respect a little more. Love should never make you feel like you're begging for attention. When a woman values you, she invests her time because she wants to, not because she feels obligated. She looks forward to spending time with you, she checks in, she's present. But when she secretly resents you, your presence feels like an interruption to her life, not a part of it. She'll start to prioritize everyone and everything else, her friends, her phone, her social media, and you'll be left wondering what changed. The answer is simple. Her respect for you has declined. And once respect fades, effort follows. The worst part is how quietly it happens. She doesn't have to tell you she's lost interest. She shows you through inconsistency. She'll reply to others instantly but leave you on red. She'll make plans with others but act like seeing you is a burden. When someone stops respecting your time, they stop respecting your presence. And when that happens, your silence becomes your strength. The only way to regain respect is to stop giving unlimited access to someone who doesn't value it. When you withdraw your energy, people are forced to see what life looks like without it. If she realizes your time was a gift, she'll adjust. If not, she was never meant to keep it. The key is remembering that your time is the most valuable currency you have. Don't spend it on someone who treats it like it's worthless. Public humiliation is one of the clearest and most painful signs of hidden resentment. When a woman who once admired you begins to make jokes at your expense, roll her eyes when you speak, or expose private details in front of others, it's not just teasing. It's a reflection of how she truly feels about you deep down. When respect and love are gone, some people express it not through distance, but through subtle acts of emotional sabotage. They embarrass you in public because, on some level, they want to feel superior. They want to remind you and everyone else that they no longer see you as someone worth protecting. At first, you might laugh along. You'll tell yourself it's harmless humor, that you're being too sensitive. But your body knows the difference between laughter and humiliation. There's a sinking feeling in your chest when someone you care about uses your vulnerabilities as entertainment. It's that moment when everyone else is laughing and you're smiling on the outside, but slowly breaking on the inside. When love is real, it protects your image even in your absence. When it's poisoned by disrespect, it destroys your dignity in the spotlight. A woman who truly loves you will never need to make you look small to feel big. She understands that respect is not about power, it's about partnership. But when she secretly hates you, she'll begin to use words and actions designed to chip away at your confidence. She'll make subtle remarks about your intelligence, your appearance, or your ambitions. Maybe she'll joke about how you're not as successful as someone else or compare you to her ex, pretending it's innocent. But every one of those comments carries a message. You're not enough for me anymore. This behavior doesn't just happen in public, it seeps into private life too. You'll notice she no longer praises you in front of others. Instead, she points out your flaws, corrects you mid-sentence, or rolls her eyes when you express your thoughts. It's her way of saying she's lost admiration but doesn't have the honesty or courage to say it outright. So she communicates her frustration through mockery and passive-aggressive humor. What makes this dangerous is that it erodes you quietly. Every insult disguised as a joke chips away at your sense of self-worth, and over time you start doubting yourself. You begin to question your intelligence, your attractiveness, your value. That's exactly how emotional disrespect works. It breaks you without ever raising its voice. The only way to deal with this is to draw a line. Never tolerate being publicly disrespected by someone who claims to love you, because if she truly cared, she'd defend your name, not damage it. The moment someone uses laughter as a weapon against you, understand that the relationship is no longer built on love, it's built on control. You don't need to argue, explain, or beg for respect. You only need to remember this. Real love protects. Fake love performs. And the person who humiliates you in public has already betrayed you in private. Silence can be peaceful when it comes from understanding, but it becomes painful when it's used as punishment. When a woman starts ignoring your messages, giving you the cold shoulder, or going days without speaking to you after a disagreement, it's not space, it's control. The silent treatment is one of the most manipulative forms of emotional punishment because it forces you to suffer without closure. It's her way of saying, "You'll talk when I decide you're worthy of my attention again." And the truth is, no healthy relationship survives when one person uses silence to dominate the other. At first, you'll try to justify it. You'll tell yourself she just needs time to cool off or that she's overwhelmed. But when silence becomes a pattern, a weapon she uses every time something doesn't go her way, it's no longer about peace, it's about power. She knows you care, she knows you crave communication, and she uses that need against you. Each ignored message, each unanswered call becomes a form of control. You start overthinking what you did wrong, replaying every word you said, trying to fix something you didn't break. That's exactly how emotional manipulation works. It makes you feel responsible for someone else's behavior. When someone loves you, they want to resolve things, not prolong the distance. They might take a break to calm down, but they'll come back to talk, to listen, to reconnect. When someone secretly hates you, they don't care about resolution. They care about making you feel what they feel. Small, anxious, and powerless. The silence isn't meant to create peace. It's meant to create guilt. You'll find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do just to end the discomfort. And every time you do, you give away a little more of your self-respect. This kind of silence hurts more than shouting ever could, because it leaves you invisible. It makes you feel like your emotions don't matter, like your presence is irrelevant. And when that happens repeatedly, it breaks your confidence. You start walking on eggshells, avoiding topics that might upset her, trying to predict her moods to prevent another round of silence. But love should never feel like a guessing game. If you have to beg for communication, you're not in a relationship. You're in emotional captivity. The most powerful thing you can do when someone uses silence as punishment is not to chase it, because chasing teaches them that withdrawal works. When you stop responding to emotional manipulation, the silence loses its power. If she truly loves you, she'll realize that communication is the only way forward. If she doesn't, she'll move on. And that's a gift, because no one who genuinely cares about you will ever make you beg for their attention. Real love communicates to understand. Fake love shuts down to control. So the next time she chooses silence, remember this: you deserve someone who talks to heal, not someone who withholds to hurt. Love is meant to be a partnership, not a competition. But when a woman begins to secretly resent you, you'll notice that the dynamic shifts. Instead of supporting your dreams, she starts comparing, criticizing, or trying to prove that she's better than you. It's no longer about us, it becomes about me versus you. This is one of the most painful transitions in any relationship, when the person who once cheered for you starts to compete with you. You'll feel it in the small, subtle moments. You share a win, and instead of celebrating, she minimizes it. You tell her about your goals, and she responds with skepticism or sarcasm. Her energy changes from pride to envy, and that's when love begins to decay. At first, you might think she's just teasing or having an off day, but over time, the pattern becomes clear. She doesn't want to see you rise too high because your growth reminds her of where she feels small. In healthy love, success inspires the other person. In unhealthy love, success threatens them. When a woman stops seeing your achievements as shared victories and starts seeing them as challenges to her ego, respect has already left the relationship. It's no longer about growing together, it's about keeping score. This competitive energy is dangerous because it drains the connection. Instead of feeling encouraged, you begin to feel like you're constantly being measured. She may point out your flaws in moments when you're proud, or subtly compare you to other men, her ex, her coworkers, or someone online, just to bring you down. It's a form of emotional control disguised as honesty. The message beneath it is simple. Don't get too confident. I need you to stay beneath me. The tragedy is that many men don't recognize this shift early. They mistake her criticism for tough love or think she's just being realistic. But when someone loves you, they build you up. They don't use your insecurities against you. They don't make you feel like you have to apologize for your growth. A woman who truly values you will see your progress as both of your progress. She'll push you forward because she knows that your strength adds to the relationship, not threatens it. When she secretly hates you, every conversation becomes a test. You'll notice she starts keeping mental tallies. What she's done versus what you've done, what you've given versus what she's given back. It stops being about connection and becomes about control. And the more you play along, the more you lose your emotional peace. The truth is, you cannot have love where there's competition. Real love is cooperative. It's about lifting each other up, not trying to outdo one another. If you ever feel like you're fighting for equality in a relationship that's supposed to be based on mutual respect, that's not love. It's ego disguised as affection. Walk away from anyone who makes you feel like your success is a threat. The right woman will see your strength as something to celebrate, not something to compete with. When a woman truly loves you, she's careful with your emotions. She pays attention to your needs, respects your limits, and protects your peace. But when that love fades and resentment takes over, her actions start to show that she no longer cares how you feel. She'll cross your boundaries without hesitation, flirt with others in front of you, or do things she knows hurt you just to prove she can. That's not confidence, that's contempt. The difference between love and disrespect isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the small, careless choices that slowly destroy trust. You'll notice that when she secretly hates you, everything you say becomes irrelevant. If you express that something bothers you, she'll dismiss it. If you tell her a boundary, she'll test it. She'll use phrases like, "You're too sensitive," or "You're overreacting," to make you doubt your own feelings. That's gaslighting, a way to shift the blame back onto you so she doesn't have to take responsibility. Love validates, but hate manipulates. When she stops caring about how her actions affect you, she's no longer in the relationship to connect, she's in it to dominate. At first, this behavior confuses you. You'll try to reason with her to make her understand how much it hurts. But people who've lost respect don't care about logic, they care about control. She knows exactly what she's doing. The late replies, the cold stares, the sudden changes in energy, None of it is random. It's her way of showing you that your feelings no longer have power over her. What used to be love has turned into emotional distance, and now she uses that distance to keep you chasing what no longer exists. The hardest part is realizing that she's not doing it because she doesn't know better. She's doing it because she stopped caring. That's a difficult truth to face, because when you love someone deeply, you naturally assume they'll handle your heart with care. But not everyone has the same heart as you. Some people destroy what they no longer value, not because they enjoy hurting you, but because they can't face their own unhappiness. So they project it onto you. When a woman truly loses respect, you'll feel it in how she talks to you, how she treats you, and how she reacts to your emotions. She'll no longer seek understanding. She'll seek control. She won't try to comfort your pain. She'll dismiss it as weakness. And the more you tolerate it, the more she'll lose respect for you. Because in her eyes, if you can endure constant disrespect, you must not respect yourself either. That's why the only solution is to reclaim your boundaries. You cannot teach someone to care by tolerating their cruelty. The moment you stop excusing her behavior and start valuing your own peace, you send a message, both to her and to yourself, that your worth is non-negotiable. Real love protects, fake love provokes. And if her actions show she no longer cares, it's not your job to fix her. It's your cue to walk away with your dignity intact.